Did you know that Australia once declared war on emus and lost? No, this isn't a joke or a bad plot from a slapstick comedy. It's a real event from 1932 called the Great Emu War. And yes, the birds won. In what has become one of the most bizarre and hilarious chapters in military history, Australia found itself in a standoff with a bunch of large, flightless birds and walked away defeated. Why did this happen? How did it go so wrong? And what happened after the dust settled? Let's dive into the strange, feather-filled story of the Great Emu War. The story begins after World War I in the early 1930s. Australia had given land to returning soldiers, hoping they'd become farmers and rebuild their lives. But nature had other plans. That year, over 20,000 emus migrated to Western Australia's farmlands, searching for food and water. Unfortunately, those same fields were now covered in crops. And emus? Well, they don't exactly tread lightly. The giant birds trampled fences, destroyed wheat crops, and caused chaos. Frustrated farmers begged the government for help, and instead of finding an agricultural solution, they sent in the military. The government dispatched Major G.P.W. Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery, along with 2 soldiers, 10,000 rounds of ammunition, and 2 Lewis machine guns, weapons used in World War I. On paper, it sounded like a turkey shoot. In reality, it was a disaster. The first attempt came on November 2nd, 1932. The soldiers spotted a group of 50 emus and opened fire, but the birds scattered like professionals. Only a few were taken down. A few days later, they found a larger group, over 1,000 emus. Perfect. Except the gun jammed. The emus escaped. Again, it turns out emus are not only fast, they can run up to 50 kilometers per hour, but also unpredictable and hard to herd. They would scatter in all directions, zigzagging through the bush, making it nearly impossible to target them efficiently. One soldier described it like this: each mob has its own leader, one of the big birds who keeps watch while his mates carry on their work. If we disturb them, he gives the signal, and off they go. At one point, they mounted a machine gun on a truck to chase the birds. But the ground was too rough. The gun couldn't aim properly. The emus outran the truck. They had turned into feathered guerrilla fighters, using their speed, numbers, and the terrain to their advantage. After several frustrating weeks, the soldiers had fired nearly 2,500 rounds of ammo and only killed about 200 emus. That's 12.5 bullets per bird, and that's being generous. Eventually, the operation was called off. The government admitted defeat. The farmers were furious. The media had a field day. One headline read, "Emus defeat soldiers in command of Major Meredith." Even Parliament got involved, with debates about how absurd the situation had become. The emus had won. While the emus were temporarily victorious, the problem didn't magically go away. Farmers continued to struggle, and emus remained a pest in some areas. Eventually, the government turned to bounties, encouraging civilians to hunt them instead. And it worked better than machine guns. As for Major Meredith, he supposedly remarked that if the Australian Army ever faced emus in combat again, they'd need more than just guns. They'd need strategy. The story became a symbol of government overreach, military mismanagement, and the unpredictability of nature. And today, it lives on as a running joke in history books and meme culture alike. So what's the lesson here? Maybe it's that not every problem can be solved with brute force. Or maybe it's that emus are just terrifyingly efficient runners. Either way, the Great Emu War proves that sometimes even birds can beat bullets. If you enjoyed this strange tale from history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more weird and wonderful stories from the past.